RC4WD Drive, the masters of scale and detail, are back at it again, refreshing the look of their popular Scottsdale K10 on the Trailfinder 2 chassis. This is a completely ready-to-run truck, and it is loaded with some awesome scale detail on it, some new stuff that we haven't seen before on the truck, an exciting paint job, retro lights, chrome roll bar, detailed engine. We got to get it out of the box to take a closer look. So RC drivers, although this is completely ready to run, it still requires you to do a little bit of assembly. It's not too hard, but it is a little time consuming. It's got to take you about maybe a half hour, 40 minutes to finish this thing up. So the chassis itself is assembled. You're gonna have to throw on the inner fenders, throw in the battery strap and the battery pack. The body's already done. You are gonna have to install the lights onto the roll bar, and you're gonna have to throw the front and rear bumper on as well. Just about 5 screws to do that. Not a huge deal. They do give you some decals in the package. Of course, an instruction manual to walk you through everything. Couple extras in there, like some extra leaf springs and springs for the shocks. They give you a basic wall charger. You're definitely gonna wanna pick up an upgrade for that. But let's get into the truck itself. My apologies, RC drivers, the tires are dirty, and that's because I had a season opportunity to go out and drive it before the weather turned on me. But let's go over the details of the new Scottsdale K10. And we've seen a number of K10s from RC4WD Drive before. This is their most detailed truck yet. I mean, look at all the chrome on this one. Even the new roll bar in the bed with the lights on top. You're gonna have to install those as I showed you earlier. The new chrome front bumper, very cool with the brush guard on it, and it comes with the lights already installed. It also has a new grille, and then on either side of it, clear lenses for the headlights, and they have halogen style lights on it. Much more period correct, and they even have LEDs in the marker lights. But check out the paint job on this too. Two-tone, looks very cool right out of the box. I love the brown. Here are the new steps on the sides. These are bolted to the chassis actually. Now spin it around, we have the same large mirrors on it and full interior. I went and added the decal on the back quarter here from the decal set that comes with it. Transparent red tail lights, and there is an LED in there. And then this is a new step bumper that they've added to the truck. Has the scale department license plate on it. The tailgate does fold down, and just make sure that when you're installing this rear bumper that you slide it all the way back, so if you do have to fold down the tailgate, it doesn't rub there on the bumper. I already encountered that little problem, that's how I know. Really cool look to it, like the subtle changes that they made. And now I'm gonna show you one of the best parts of this model. We're gonna pop open the hood here, and there is the engine all detailed out with their wire kit, wires on the distributor. They've even painted the valve covers, the intake manifold, decals on the air cleaner. Just awesome look to it. Drop this back down, does have metal hinges, magnet to hold that hood down so it's not flopping around on you while you're driving. Down on all 4 corners, the Dixie Peck Fun Country tires. These are pretty soft compound with a firm insert. They sit a little bit weird. They're kind of square, and I think just the way the insert pushes on it is a little bit of a dip in the top of it, but maybe those will settle in once those inserts break in. And then Steely style wheels, and even the locking hub in the front, or RC4WD Drive hub cover in the rear. They give you the tool so it's easy to access those covers to get to the nut. But let me pop the body off of this thing, and we'll take a quick look at the long wheelbase TF2 chassis. So there's actually 4 screws that hold the body down to the chassis, and what some people do is they just add set screws to it. So you could go slide the body over it, secures it in place. You just have a little bit of that set screw sticking out just to kind of center the body there. I don't ever use the rear body clips. I don't know why they still have that if you're securing the body with screws. But anyway, the TF2 chassis here. A little bit of assembly required. Again, you saw that it comes with the inner fender wells for the front. You're gonna have to add those on. They do require a little bit of trimming still. Always found that with any one of the 4-wheel drive kits that I get, always requires a little extra trimming there. Not a huge deal. But I love this chassis because you get so much metal stuff in here. Makes you feel like you're getting something for your money. So we've got aluminum frame rails on this. These are machined aluminum cross bracing. Even the battery plate here is aluminum. Receiver box, which is all the way in back. This is just water resistant. They don't have a seal in this one. And there's your ESC tray. The suspension on here, this is why people love RC4WD Drive. They've got some pretty cool leaf suspension kits in here. Actually, when I pulled this one out of the box, the leaf spring hangers were flipped up, so I had to go and flip those back. The axles are mounted on the bottom of the leaf springs. It's not like the Toyota truck, and that's because they need clearance for these tires. If they were to put the axle on top of the leaf spring, it would rub the fenders of the body, so I understand why they did that. At least they took the springs out of the shocks from what I could tell. They give you springs in the kit, so if you want to go add those in later, you could do that. Nobody ever does. They always take it out, so the suspension actually works. This is a lot softer than some of the older K10s and other TF2s, making it much easier to drive. It's still going to teeter out there on the trails. It's more of a trail truck, so just keep that in mind if you're thinking about picking one of these up. But leaf spring truck is fun to drive as long as you choose your lines. I like that the shock perch here in the rear and the front, those are aluminum. Then into the drive line, you've got the R3 transmission, just a single speed, ball bearings, metal case on here, metal motor mount, aluminum motor mount, slipper clutch. So stuff that we've seen before, hard mounted to the chassis, the hammer transfer case, just love the look of that. All metal gears on the inside of that as well, metal case on it. Then you got the slider drive shafts down to the front and rear wheels, and they've got metal yokes on them, which makes them pretty durable. However, watch this, guys. I found this out before on the trail. This pops right out, and that's something you're gonna have to watch out for. I actually got the truck bound up in the first 5 minutes of running it, and this popped out. So that's something to watch out for with this truck, or if you want to upgrade later on down the road, they do have metal slide shafts that replace that. That's a ding that I gotta give to RC 4-wheel drive on this one. That should not happen like that. These are the newer axles from RC 4-wheel drive with the steel CVs in there, ball bearings, metal gears. Definitely love the shape and look of those. Metal links for the steering, even a metal servo horn on that. So this is a pretty built up transmission. However, I know it's gonna be pretty noisy. Does need to break in a little bit. Does need some extra grease inside to quiet it down. And into the electronics, pretty much standard issue RC 4-wheel drive here. 45 turn brush motor, twister servo with metal gears. You get a 3300 milliamp nickel metal hydride pack. And then here is the twister speed controller. It does have a little bit of programming through the pill here. You go forward, brake, reverse. It's got LiPo nickel metal hydride mode, XT30 plug on it, and the RC 4-wheel drive transmitter that you guys saw earlier. Enough with the talk, let's check out the action. Time to drive the Scottsdale, and I picked a very cold and windy day, and the cold air blowing off the reservoir isn't helping things out. I'm kind of yelling into the mic, so hopefully the wind doesn't blow out the microphone. So bear with me, guys. This is going to be a fun drive. We go right into an uphill climb here. What do you think of the new colors on the Scottsdale body, guys? The two-tone, painted perfectly. Graphic on the hood, it's a bit much, but I'm growing into it. Look at that leaf suspension. It's not letting it go. Oh, there we go. Settled it back in. So with this leaf suspension setup, this is obviously just a trail truck. We're not gonna do some crazy crawling here. But let's check out the steering. We're gonna be able to make this turn. No, that was as much as it steers right out of the box. A little K-turn action. We do have some endpoints here on the radio system. I think they're turned up all the way. Oh yeah, they're turned up. Crank this back. A little bit more travel out of it. Oh, there we go. That's a lot more travel. Gotta show you guys this. Way better now. Oh, that's much better. Still not a ton of steering, but way better than that of the box. So yeah, definitely make that change, guys. Uphill action through the tree roots. I gotta say, that transmission is pretty noisy. With the microphone and the camera right up close, it's probably even louder. I like how the leaf suspension works. You definitely got to drive a leaf suspension truck, really pick your lines. Let's see what it's got at full throttle. So this is kind of a slow walking pace. I gotta say, I like that they went with the halogen lights on this, classic look. Even the taillights in there, marker lights. And those new bumpers, all that chrome on this thing. All you chrome junkies, you got it here. RC 4-wheel drive, always been about the scale look. And I mean, this thing is just cool. With the engine under the hood, the drop down tailgate, full interior. It's a sick looking truck. Now for a little bit of rock crawling. Get this thing on an angle here. Got a little clicking in the transmission too. It's loud, it's clicking. Taking away from the drive just a little bit. I mean, but it's right out of the box too. So, I mean, it's gonna need some time to break in. Maybe take the transmission apart, add some grease to it, quiet it down a little bit more. Long wheelbase chassis does add to the stability of it. But yeah, you definitely need to pick your lines just right so you don't tip it over and scratch that beautiful paint job.